Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into the beautiful game of football. Whether you call it soccer or football, by the time we're done here, you're going to be perfectly prepped for the massive 2026 World Cup. We are covering everything you need to know, straight from the ground up.
So, have you ever found yourself wondering what exactly is a 4-4-2 formation? Or, why do people get so incredibly worked up about a red card? Well, today, I promise to demystify all that intimidating jargon and those crucial rules that leave so many beginners totally scratching their heads. We're going to make it crystal clear.
Here is our roadmap for today's explainer. Welcome to the pitch. Meet the 11 players, rules, fouls and cards, and finally, the 2026 World Cup.
Section 1, Welcome to the Pitch.
Now, it's really important to realize that soccer is actually quite conservative compared to a lot of other sports. It operates on a very straightforward set of rules, called, quite simply, the laws of the game. And these laws can only be changed by the IFAB, that's the International Football Association Board, who act as the ultimate guardians of the rules. Meanwhile, FIFA, they're the international governing body that actually runs the massive global tournaments, like the World Cup.
Just look at this timeline of the game's rather slow, cautious evolution. The very first football laws were actually written up in a London tavern way back in 1863. It wasn't until 1891 that penalty kicks were introduced, and get this, back then you could actually take them from literally anywhere on a 12-yard line. And surprisingly, those famous yellow and red penalty cards we all know so well, they weren't even introduced into the game until 1970. Crazy, right?
When it comes to time, your magic number is 90. A standard match is a grueling 90 minutes long. That is divided into two 45-minute halves with a quick 15-minute break in the middle. But here's the kicker. The clock doesn't just stop for injuries or goal celebrations like it does in a lot of American sports. Instead, the referee tracks all that lost time and tacks it on at the very end of each half. That's what we call stoppage time.
Section 2. Meet the 11 players.
Here we're breaking down the four core roles: goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, and forward. But unlike American football with its highly rigid playbooks, these positions are incredibly fluid. As the game flows, midfielders will often drop way back to defend, and defenders will frequently sprint right up the field to join the attack. It's just a continuous, dynamic system.
Let's single out the goalkeeper for a second. The goalie is your highly specialized last line of defense, and they are literally the only player on the field legally allowed to use their hands, provided, of course, they stay inside their own 18-yard penalty box. Oh, and here is a fun fact for you. Traditionally, goalkeepers wore a green shirt simply to make it extremely easy for the referee to quickly spot them amidst all the chaos of the outfield players.
And this perfectly breaks down that confusing 4-4-2 terminology you always hear commentators throwing around. Just read it from back to front. It simply means 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 2 forwards. Add those up and you've got your 10 outfield players. Add your mandatory 1 goalkeeper, and boom, there's your starting 11. Formations like 4-4-2 or 4-3-3 are really just strategic, structural ways coaches organize their guys to gain a tactical edge on the pitch.
Section 3, Rules, Fouls, and Cards. Okay, let's tackle the most notorious rule in football, offside. Now, it can seem really tricky to newcomers, but simply put, a player is offside if they are in the opposing half and closer to the goal line than both the ball and the second last defender, which usually means the last defender and the goalkeeper. Basically, an attacker cannot just receive a forward pass if they're already lingering behind the defensive line right next to the goalie.
So, why does this somewhat complex rule even exist? Well, to bluntly put it, to stop goal hanging. In the very early days of the sport, attackers would just lazily camp out right next to the opponent's goal, waiting for a cheap long pass. The offside rule forces the attacking team to intelligently pass and dribble their way through the defending line. It makes the whole game so much more dynamic and strategic.
Now, let's look at the referee's ultimate weapons. Honestly, nothing changes a match faster than these 2 little pieces of plastic. A yellow card is an official warning or caution. You get a yellow, you stay in the game, but you are officially walking on thin ice. A red card, however, that is a catastrophic sending off. The offending player is permanently removed. They absolutely cannot be replaced by a substitute, and their team is forced to play a man down with only 10 players for the rest of the grueling match. It's huge.
So what exactly makes a referee pull out a yellow card?
The laws of the game outline 7 main offenses. This includes unsporting behavior, like a reckless tackle or a tactical foul deliberately designed to stop a counterattack. It also covers dissent, disrespecting the ref, as well as persistent fouling and time wasting. And look closely at that first point. You can actually get a yellow card for unsporting behavior just for taking your shirt off during an excessive goal celebration.
Moving on to the red card offenses, these are essentially the unforgivable sins on the pitch. If a player commits serious foul play that risks injury, engages in violent conduct, think of Zinedine Zidane's infamous headbutt back in 2006, spits at someone, or deliberately uses their hand to stop a shore goal, well, the referee has absolutely no choice. It is an instant ejection. Also keep in mind that simple math at the bottom there. Receiving a second yellow card in the exact same match automatically equals a red card.
Now, because the modern game moves at such an incredibly fast pace, human referees can and do occasionally miss these rapid-fire fouls and really tight offside calls. Enter VAR, the Video Assistant Referee. Introduced at the World Cup in 2018, this is a technology-assisted team sitting in a video room, reviewing multiple camera angles to help the on-field referee correct clear and obvious errors. It just ensures the right call is made when the stakes are at their absolute highest.
Section 4. The 2026 World Cup.
48. That is the magic number for 2026. For the very first time in the tournament's history, the FIFA World Cup is expanding to feature a massive 48 national teams representing their home countries.
To really understand the sheer, unprecedented scale of what is coming, this historic tournament is going to be co-hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico. We're talking about a staggering 104 total matches, running from June 11th all the way to July 19th. The format kicks off with a group stage. That's 12 groups of 4 teams battling it out before plunging directly into a spectacularly tense, sudden death knockout stage.
And exactly what are they all playing for? As the saying goes, winning the FIFA World Cup is football's ultimate prize. It's so important to understand that unlike your weekly club leagues where billionaire owners can just buy up players from all over the globe, the World Cup consists strictly of national teams. These are citizens fighting for their home countries, aiming for absolute global bragging rights.
So now that you've got a solid grasp on the pitch, the players, the formations, and those absolutely critical rules, I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder. With a massive 48 teams taking the pitch in 2026, who's going to master these rules, avoid the red cards, and take home football's ultimate prize? Keep that in mind as you prep for the kickoff of literally the biggest sporting event in history. Thanks for diving into this explainer with me, and enjoy the beautiful game.